right, so let's do this. I'll call the meeting to order then, October 11th, 2022. Judy, would you please do the roll?
Yeah, Judy Neville, Tom Schulte. He's coming, I think. Amy Carroll.
Here.
Todd Lavieri,
Here.
Michael Chin.
Oh, said he was coming by Zoom.
Yeah, Chris Labrie.
Hmm.
Is he on though?
He's not.
No. Victor Alvarez.
He's recused.
Oh, is he? All right, yeah.
Hmm.
And Maria Weingarten, she's recused on this too?
Also recused.
Yeah. All right, should we,
Judy?
yeah, should we?
All just started to join as you.
All right, good. So who's come on? Michael?
Let's just
Tom-
go on for 1 minute here.
Bob Hamill.
He's on.
Okay, good.
Chris
Colin
Labrie's here.
is not here and James Yaho is not attending.
Right?
All right, and so we have Tom Schulte has come on.
Yep.
Okay. Michael Chin.
Yep. Here.
Okay, good. So and Chris Labrie, is he
And
on?
Chris. Yes, he is.
Oh, good. All right. So we have, yeah, we have
And
1,
Bob.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I heard Bob, Chris, Michael, Tom, me, you, Amy. Did I miss
Yeah.
anybody?
No, that's what I've got too. Okay.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Okay. So look, the goal of this meeting, well, I guess we have one more housekeeping item. We do need a motion to approve the minutes from our, the last meeting we had on July 12th. Motion, Chris, second? Second, anybody? Bob Hamill, second? Okay, thanks. All in favor, just raise your hands. Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved, Tucker. Okay, so this meeting, the purpose of this meeting is to receive the application for the Hill Street application that was filed with the town. We are not voting on anything tonight. Really what we are is beginning the clock to start on a 65-day window to go through this application, not dissimilar to the Weed Street application in that regard. I think we'll go offer Attorney Smith to make some comments and present his application. Maria and Tiger are here as well. Again, we're not looking for answers tonight. We are, though, want to make sure we get a process up and running in terms of how we will move forward with this application. Any questions that we'll have specifically for Maria and Tiger as it relates to capacity in our responsibilities, obviously, as the WPCA, as well as the integrity of the infrastructure to handle what the application's pursuing. So, Pete Gelderman, anything else we need to cover from an introduction point of view? Otherwise, I was just going to ask Attorney Smith to go through his application.
I think that's the next step.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Attorney Smith.
Okay, good evening.
So,
Echo.
How do we turn that echo off?
Microphones? Maybe
Or the.
turn this
No,
on.
that's my, no, that has to stand.
I think you fixed it.
No.
Hello? Yeah, I
not
think
yet.
so.
Not yet. No. We're not on.
Oh, no.
No,
We're
you
not
don't
on
want this
Zoom.
one. This one should be muted.
Oh, can you hear
This
us?
is your mic.
This is the
There
mic.
you go.
That was
We're
our
fixed.
fault. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
We can hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the authority, Ms. Murphy, professional staff, Attorney Gelderman. For the record, my name is Chris Smith. I am a land use attorney with the law firm of Alter and Pearson, and I appear before you this evening representing the applicant owner, Hill Street 72 LLC, concerning two applications. One is a request for a modification for new discharge or change of use associated with an existing sewer lateral connection. And the second one is confirmation of adequacy of sewer capacity. I would like at the outset to indicate on behalf of myself and our team that we understand some of you are not here this evening because you have COVID, and we wish you a quick recovery and to stay well. For those of us who've had it, it's not something anybody really wants to get if you can avoid it. Having said that, what I'd like to do is introduce the members of the team that are with me this evening. Paul Stone is here on behalf of the owner applicant Hill Street 72 LLC, and also Derek Donay, who is our professional civil engineer with DeAndrea Surveying and Engineering PC, who we'll be hearing from shortly. As the chair indicated, what we were hoping to do this evening is just walk you through the application, provide you with an overview, and then respond to any initial questions that you do have. We did receive the memo from the town engineer, Maria Coplet, dated October 6, 2022, that recommended certain monitoring to be performed, and we certainly, my client is certainly agreeable to performing that monitoring and providing you and the engineering department and public works with the results of that and the evaluation that was requested of us. So we will be doing that. But again, however, we would like to just walk you through the application. And it is a little different from the other one that you just mentioned, Mr. Chairman, on Weed Street. And so I'll provide an overview, and then I'll be turning it over to Derek Donay, who will walk you through the specifics with providing you a summary of the sanitary sewer connection survey report dated August 30, 2022, that was prepared by Derek and the office, again, of DeAndrea Surveying and Engineering PC. So again, we've submitted two applications. The first one is approval of a discharge modification for a new discharge or change in volume or character of an approved discharge into the public sanitary sewer system, or a change of use for an approved discharge associated with a recently approved and constructed sewer lateral connection that exists and was constructed this past fall onto the subject property. The second application is a request for confirmation of adequacy of capacity, and both of these applications that are submitted pursuant to sections 326 and 327 of your rules and regulations are associated with a proposed 93-unit multifamily residential development for the subject two properties that are known as 17 Hill Street and 23 Hill Street. The proposal involves two properties, two lots that combined comprise approximately 4.76 acres. And just for the benefit of the authority and those who do have a copy of the application material, I will be walking you through the summary letter that was prepared by our office and submitted with the application. The summary letter is dated September 15, 2022. So again, the subject properties comprise approximately 4.76 acres. The properties were approved for a two-lot residential subdivision back in 2014 and by the both by the Inland Wetlands Agency and by your Planning and Zoning Commission. As part of that approval, there was an access driveway across wetlands and an intermittent water course providing access from Hill Street to the developable rear portion of the subject property. Included with that driveway construction were utilities that also provided for sewer. The initial approval from the Inland Wetlands Commission and Planning and Zoning for the two-lot subdivision and the access driveway occurred in 2014. That occurred prior to my clients acquiring title to the property. Subsequent to my client acquiring title to the property, they returned and received approval to increase the width of the impervious paved driveway within the crossing in 2018 from the Inland Wetlands Commission and in 2019 from the Planning and Zoning Commission. We did provide you with copies of both of those approvals. Now, again, as part of that access crossing, the driveway crossing, there was provision for sewer, an 8-inch sewer lateral connection that was subsequently approved, installed, and inspected by your town staff for the WPCA. And that approval was on September 8th, 2021. And I'm referring to the bottom of pages 2 and 3 in my summary letter. A copy of that sewer lateral and connection approval is included in the application material. The sewer lateral connection is connected to the sewer transmission line located in Hill Street, and the discharge from the sewer lateral into the municipal sewer system is routed into the municipal sewage treatment plant. And this is depicted on a graphic that was prepared by Mr. Donay and his office, and it's entitled, quote, aerial sewer line GIS map showing location of 17-23 Hill Street and sewer connections to wastewater treatment plant, end of quote. And again, that is also provided to you as part of the application material. So we do have an existing sewer line lateral that extends onto the property and is connected to the transmission line out in Hill Street. As to adequacy of capacity within the New Canaan sewer system to support the proposed 93-unit multifamily residential site development, a report entitled, quote, sanitary sewer connection summary report for 17-23 Hill Street, residential development located at 17 and 23 Hill Street, New Canaan, Connecticut, that was prepared again by Derek Donay of DeAndrea Surveying and Engineering PC, dated August 30th, 2022, which has been submitted as an exhibit as part of the application material that you have, indicates and it confirms that the subject property is located within the town sewer service area, and also confirms that the sewer lateral connection was approved, installed, and inspected to serve the developable upland portion of the subject property. Again, this occurred in September of 2021, last year. The sewer report that Mr. Donay will walk you through more specifically in a moment establishes that there is more than adequate capacity in the sewer, in the town's sewer system to serve the proposed multifamily residential community with the recently approved and constructed 8-inch sewer lateral onto the subject property. And specifically, and Mr. Donay will walk you through this in a moment, the analysis provides for an allocation of the existing, number one, New Canaan sewer system's current users throughout the town, the gallons per day being utilized. Secondly, the number of recently approved developments is also included in this summary analysis prepared by Mr. Donay. And finally, Mr. Donay included the gallonage associated with any pending applications for proposed new developments here in the town of New Canaan. Relative to the proposed 93 units, the units are calculated to utilize approximately 22,650 gallons per day. And as indicated in the report, there is more than sufficient capacity to accommodate this additional gallonage, excuse me. The residential community results in approximately 1.292 gallons per day, million gallons per day being utilized in the New Canaan system, where the total capacity is approximately 1.7 gallons per day. Now, your town engineer indicated that we should be using a different number, and even utilizing the different number, there is still more than adequate capacity to accommodate this proposed development. That is the subject of the application for confirmation of sewer capacity before you this evening. And again, Mr. Donay will walk you through that. And I would just like to conclude with the sewer summary report that the applicant's proposed new use comprises approximately 1.3% of the town's total available sewer capacity. Now, again, you have a two-part application that's been submitted. And in September of 2021, the existing sanitary sewer connection was approved pursuant to sections 202 and 203 of the WPCA's of your rules and regulations. I'm at the bottom of page 3 of my summary letter, going on to page 4. And at page 4, I summarized the two sections, section 326 and 327, that we've applied under. And just for clarification, section 326 addresses a discharge modification proposal, whereby if a party or a landowner desires to increase the volume of sewer discharge relative to an existing sewer connection. Now, our sewer connection is not being utilized, but it has been approved and installed. And it was done in association with a 2-lot single-family residential subdivision. But if you go to increase the discharge for that particular connection, section 326 requires you to to file and request approval for what you refer to as, quote, a new sanitary sewer connection permit, end of quote. Section 327 similarly talks about a change of use, where if you're going to have a change in use where it results in a greater volume of use of the sewer system, then again, you have to come in and seek approval for, quote, a new sanitary sewer connection permit, end of quote. I would just like to point out, and I'll certainly defer to your town attorney, relative to the law governing sewer use in our state, that we do have an approval, my client, for the 8-inch sewer lateral. That lateral has been constructed and exists on the property. So the real question I would respectfully submit, or questions associated with these two applications, is whether there is sewer capacity in the transmission lines from my client's property to the plant, and then whether the plant can accommodate the additional sewage associated with the proposed residential development. And arguably, under the law in our state, that if the answers to those are yes, then my client is respectfully, I would submit, entitled to an approval. Your sections 326 and 327 are really tied to the Connecticut general statutes that provides authorizations and delegates authority to municipalities who do have water pollution control authorities adopted under the applicable statutes, and specifically section 7-246A that deals with applications. It's actually entitled, quote, applications, time for decision and appeals, end of quote. Does talk about applications or requests for confirmation of the, and I'm quoting from the statute, quote, adequacy of sewer capacity related to a proposed use of land, or approval to hook up to a sewer system, end of quote. So essentially, those are the two types of applications, two types of conduct that the authority has, the Water Pollution Control Authority has authority over pursuant to the statute. And again, my client has already received approval to hook up to the system with the lateral that has been approved and constructed onto the property. And with that, with the permission of the chair, what I'd like to do is turn the presentation over to Derek Donay that will walk you through the specifics with the proposal. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to respond to them now, or once Mr. Donay finishes with his presentation.
Yeah, let's go ahead and have the presentation, and then we'll, I'm not sure we'll have any questions at this time, but let's see.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening. My name is Derek Donay. I'm a licensed professional engineer working with DeAndrea Surveying and Engineering PC. We are the site engineers for this development. In brief, from what Attorney Smith just went through, so the history of it was for the 2-lot subdivision that was approved for this site, a new 8-inch PVC gravity sanitary sewer connection was proposed and approved going out to Hill Street. That connection was made using a new sanitary sewer manhole on Hill Street that then went to a manhole on the property. During the construction of the driveway access that was also previously approved, that sanitary sewer lateral and the new manhole in Hill Street were also constructed at that time. The previously approved 8-inch PVC sanitary sewer lateral connection to Hill Street is more than adequate to convey the flow from the proposed 93-unit development. Our firm prepared a sanitary sewer connection summary report, which included proposed flow computations for the proposed development. So those computations take into account the 93 different apartment units, which break down to 9 3-bedrooms, 42 bedroom units, and 44 1-bedroom units. Those are conservative calculations by industry standards, where you assume full occupancy of 2 people per bedroom. So that probably won't happen, but those are the calculations you're required to provide. During our also design investigations, we did preliminary, our firm performed preliminary visual investigations of the sanitary sewer main in Hill Street by popping open a couple of the manhole lids during peak discharge times, which showed that there was plenty of available capacity in those pipes along Hill Street to accept a proposed discharge from the site. Out of an 8-inch sewer main, there was probably during these times around 8 a.m. in the morning, there was probably only about 2 inches of flow in them. Let's see, we received the comments from Maria Coplet in regards to the sanitary sewer connection. She had requested a couple of things for additional exploratory measures, such as she would like 1,050 linear feet from our site on Hill Street down the sewer main towards the treatment plant, of the sewer line, the existing sewer lines to be cleaned, video inspected. That way it can be reviewed to see if any repairs are warranted along the lines. She would also requested that 2 flow monitoring units be installed along certain sections of that same sewer main. The flow monitoring units will be installed for 2 weeks each. That way you can get a very accurate measure of what are the peak discharges along those sewer lines. Once we have that information, we will then provide Maria additional computations that show the peak or the existing peak discharge within the sewer mains. We will then add our peak discharge from our site to those numbers to verify the capacity in the existing town sewer mains. In regards to the sanitary sewer treatment plant, Maria asked us to review AECOM, who the town hired to they prepared a report of the existing treatment facilities current capacity. The summary, so we will update our numbers in our report to reflect theirs. Overall, though, the summary of their report is that the plant is operating well and has excess available capacity in it. See, our client has no objections to these additional exploratory investigation measures and flow calculations that the town engineer has requested, and those will be performed probably within the next month and resubmitted to the town for final review.
I think that concludes, Mr. Chairman and members of the authority, our presentation providing you with an overview of the applications before you this evening. And again, we do look forward to working with your support and professional staff and you in processing these 2 applications going forward.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you both very much. Let me do this. Let me ask Maria and Tiger if they have anything they want to add at this point, and then ask the board if they have any questions for either group. Okay, we'll do it that way. So Maria and Tiger, at this point, obviously, we're not making decisions. We're not determining anything. I know we're just in a fact-finding mode. Is there anything you want to add at this point to this discussion, or we're good for now? I have 2 questions.
She's okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Good
Is Maria
evening.
there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hi, Maria.
Can,
Do you want to?
Be on screen.
Sure.
All right, good evening. No, I do believe that my October 6th memo outlines our request for additional information. And it sounds like from Mr. Smith and Mr. Donay that will be forthcoming, and then we'll be able to.
you want to pull the mic a little, just, yeah, I don't.
To complete our review after that.
Yeah, that's better. Okay. Tiger, anything?
No, I have nothing to add, Todd. Thank you.
Okay. I just had 2 questions for you, Maria, just to start, if there are any questions. One, did any of the AECOM work that we did on the prior evaluation assess any of the infrastructure that will be impacted by this application?
So the work that is currently under review by AECOM that we're expecting to get a report in December evaluated our whole entire
Yeah, okay.
system infrastructure. So yes, that would include this area.
All right. And the second question is there anything at this point that would make you think we won't be able to be done within the 65-day window, and that we might need to ask for an extension?
Well, that part is dependent on the applicant, whether or not you feel confident that you can get the cleaning done, the televising done, and the flow metering done. But as long as, there's no delays with job opportunities, et cetera, we don't see there being a problem there.
It's not a go, no go today. We can make this decision a month from now. But I just was curious if there was anything at this point. That it sounds like you've got balls in rolling, and we'll see.
Exactly.
Okay, board members, any questions at this point? Again, nothing definitive to be decided tonight. This is really receiving the application, and we'll begin our work. I see no hands up.
Questions?
Fine.
None? Chris, did you have a question?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Well, look, it sounds like we'll work to get this done in within the 65 days at this point. Attorney Smith, I nothing to ask for. I don't believe any further now. We'll begin the process and we'll do our job as it relates to the application, and we'll keep this process rolling.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We look forward to, again, we look forward to processing the application with you and your professional staff. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much. All right. If there's no other business, I'd just as soon we'll have a motion to adjourn, and then remind everybody that the Board of Finance meeting starts at 7. For those of you zooming in, zoom in. Otherwise, we'll see you in Town Hall. I won't be there though, but we'll see the rest of you there. So a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Michael, second. Tom, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Raise your hands. Thank you. Opposed? None. Tucker, we're closed. Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone.